right. What's happening, everybody? What's going on? I'm your host, RJ Carbone, and you are listening to episode 407 of BD4. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to BD4, where there is no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. We also do MMA now, too. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, MMA occasionally on weekends. Although it's kind of just sporadic now. Hope everybody's well. We're going to talk Yankees. The Yankees swept the Pirates. They stomped on them, at least offensively, in a quick two-game set at home. So they begin their homestand 2-0. I asked that we go 5-1 before the homestand began, sweeping the Pirates and taking 3 from the Sox in a 4-game set. So hopefully they can do that. Off to a good start, 2-0. Let's talk about it. The Yankees defeating the Pittsburgh Pirates. Went 2-0 this series. 23 runs scored overall. 10 runs allowed, giving them a plus 13 run differential in these two games. And up next, we got Boston. And we'll talk about that when we talk about Judge. But let's get right into it. Let's not waste time. Talk about this first game of the set as the Yankees defeated the Pirates, and they have now won their 90th win. So the Yanks sweep the Pirates to reach 90 wins. So the first game of this set was 2 nights ago. As I'm recording, it is September 21st on a Wednesday night. As you are listening, it should be Thursday the 22nd. But the first game of this set took place on the 20th, Tuesday the 20th. And the Yankees picked up the win 9-8. This was an eventful one. You had Cortez going up against Ortiz, who's looking to be a pretty good pitcher, by the way. Top of the 4th inning, old Yankee friend, Greg Allen, from like one of those next man up eras. He was fun for a bit for us. Gets the sac fly to plate a run for Pittsburgh, 1-0. Bottom of the 5th, you had Harrison Bader knocking in a run with a single in his second at-bat as a Yankee. Jose Trevino singles. It's 2-1. Yankees take the lead. Top of the 6th, I think his name was Jason DeLay. Interesting name. Doubles in runs, making it 3-2 Pittsburgh. And then Bader comes back with an RBI single in the 6th. It's 4-3 Yankees. Top of the 7th, you get Brian Reynolds, who a lot of Yankees fans, including myself, wanted him at the deadline. He goes and hits a home run off Yankee relief pitching to make it 4-4. In the 8th inning, he singles, and then Castro hits a home run off Holmes, and it's 8-4. Pittsburgh has a lead. Not looking great. Bottom of the 9th, Aaron Judge gets one more at-bat. He hits his 60th home run. Then you get the Stanton grand slam, and the Yankees win 9-8. I mean, fuck. What a fucking, what a magical is probably the best way to say. What a magical game. I mean, I get that it was the Pirates, so I don't love saying magical if it's the Pittsburgh Pirates, but it was a nice, feel-good night. It was one that could very well be on Yankees Classics, right? Bader, you have him who electrifies in his debut. Big RBIs, great speed on the bases, sliding headfirst into home plate. The volume in the stadium skyrocketed every time he made a play or did something like that. He was 2 for 4 overall. And you get the 9th inning, man. You get Judge hitting his 60th home run in the 9th inning there. I wasn't feeling all the positive energy at the time, like Kay was and Cone was. And, of course, they have to do their jobs and hype it up and market it. But it's odd for me to get that hype and that ecstatic about anything when you're down, whatever they were down, 3 runs or so in the 9th inning there. So, of course, I was trying to tame myself, but then we load him up. Stanton comes to the plate. It was like a 2-strike count. He gets the grando and walks it off. And I could officially at least, celebrate it all right there, right then. Just unbelievable night. The Bats scored 9 runs off 11 hits, 3 of them extra base hits, 4 walks, 9 strikeouts. They went 6 for 12 with runners in scoring position, and 8 were left on base as a team. Gleyber, Donaldson, Trevino, Bader, each of them picked up 2 hits for the Yankees. Stanton had 4 RBIs, Bader 3 RBIs, Trevino an RBI, and Judge an RBI there in the 9th. Cabrera made a nice play at the wall in left field in the 4th inning. Then he just missed a home run in the 5th inning. He went to right center with it near the 385 sign. But the 2 Pirates outfielders, it was Reynolds and I forget who else, they end up colliding, and he got 3 bases out of it. The Yankees made an error in this one too. Rizzo made a bad error in the 8th, going to second for some reason and nailing the guy in the kind of taint. Fuck. But it was a good offensive performance, and the pitching was good. Cortez, 5 innings, 1 run, 5 hits, 2 walks allowed, 4 strikeouts, no home runs on 87 pitches. It was a good win, good outing by him. Cortez, he should have been allowed to throw at least 1 more inning, 15 pitches more, maybe 20 tops. But, Boone's trying to milk everyone from here out until the playoffs. But he looked good, though. I thought he looked good. There's not much to say about 5 innings, but, give the quick 5 and fly, and he did his job. The bullpen was the problem. They pitched 4 innings and gave up 7 runs on 5 hits, 4 walks. So they had 9 base runners in 4 innings, 4 strikeouts. They were absolutely atrocious, besides Aroldis Chapman in the 9th. And I have a terrible, terrible feeling that we're going to come full circle here, because for whatever nonsensical jackass reason, the Yankees haven't lost faith in the washed-up, abominable, always choking in big moments Aroldis Chapman. So I just have a bad feeling he's going to be the closer come October. I wouldn't be shocked if you saw him close some games, in these final 14 games, whatever it is. Clay Holmes, who got the 8th inning, I'm not saying he should be closer, because you all know my thoughts. He shouldn't be there. So don't get me wrong. And he was awful again in this game. I don't think we need to go over Clay Holmes again this episode, because we did last episode. But 2/3 of an inning, he could only give up the home run. Gave up, more inherited runners come across to score on him. That's been a big thing for him. And the rest before Holmes were pretty bad as well. Marinaccio wasn't great. Lou Trevino wasn't great. He gives up a ton of inherited runners too. And then Lasagna wasn't great. He's kind of bounced back down to earth. I don't know with him anymore. We'll talk about the pen. But yeah, it was an excellent win nonetheless. And the Yankees fed off of it with a great win tonight for their 11th win in 15 games. And we'll talk about the second game of the set as soon as we get back from break. Stay with us. We'll be back in 15 seconds. All right, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. You're listening to episode 407 of BD4. The second game of this set took place tonight. And the Yankees won. This was a good win. A 14-2 shellacking. You had Severino towing up against Contreras, who struck out 10 batters. But in the bottom of the first, the Yankees, right off the bat, just going big. Another grand slam. Another one against the Pirates. I believe they said on the telecast that it's been 4 this season against them. Cabrera, a grand slam, makes it 4-0. Oswaldo is so fun to watch. Top of the 4th inning, Hayes sac fly makes it 4-1 Yankees. But bottom of the 5th comes, Gleyber Torres singles, Josh Donaldson doubles. It's 6-1 Yankees. Top of the 6th, Hayes singles in a run, 6-2. That'd be all for Pittsburgh, and the Yankees just go nuts in the 8th. You get a Gleyber home run. You get Cabrera and Bader going back-to-back with doubles, scoring runs there. Trevino doubles in them. And then Gleyber again, his second home run in the inning. That's pretty cool. I think only A-Rod and one other Yankee, or maybe a couple other Yankees have done it. They showed it on the telecast, I forget. But it was 14-2 Yankees, and they ended up winning. 14 runs on 11 hits. Get this, 10 extra base hits, 5 walks, 13 strikeouts, 6 for 15 with runners in scoring position. So they were 12 for 27. Christ. Just 2 left on base as a team. That's awesome. But that's going to happen when you have 10 extra base hits. That's very robust. Again, it's the Pirates. I get it, blah, blah, blah. But they punish them like they always do and like they always should. Gleyber, 3 hits, 5 RBIs, 2 home runs, led the way across the board, and we will get to him in a second. Severino, 5 innings, 1 run, 2 hits, a walk, 6 strikeouts, 64 pitches, and the win, 6-3. We'll get to him in a second also. And the bullpen bounced back, 4 innings, 1 run, 2 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Litke gave them 2+ innings, 1 run allowed in the 3rd inning that he pitched. Marinaccio pitched an inning, struck out 2, no runs. Weissert, an inning, no runs. That was his final inning as a Yankee probably this year. And all of a sudden, the Yankees are just hot. So, it's good to see. It's good to see. We're going to head to a break real quick, get back, and we'll talk about some things. Hey, fellas. I've noticed that only a small percentage of you who watch BD4 on YouTube are actually subscribed. So, if you do enjoy this podcast and want to be alerted every time a new episode drops, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. This way, we can help the podcast grow, and you won't miss a single episode of BD4. Welcome back to the show. I am your host, RJ Carbone, and you are listening to episode 407 of BD4. We're hot, man. We're hot. Judge and Cabrera, 2 hits tonight. Listen, this kid Cabrera, he's all of a sudden he's hot with the bat. His last 9 games, he's 11 for 31. That's .355. 6 singles, 2 doubles, 3 home runs, 11 RBIs, 9 runs, and 6 walks. And the walks are actually the most impressive, most telling thing to me right now. It tells me that he's seeing the ball very well. And that's just been him since he's come up. He's not been hitting consistently. He's had his streaks, like the Oakland series he hit well, and now, the last 9 games. But since he's come up, his at-bats, Cabrera never looks like he's overmatched. Like, there are Yankee prospects, like Florial, for example. Hate to pick on the kid, but he looks overmatched every time he takes the plate. Watching Cabrera have an at-bat, he looks like he recognizes the strike zone well. Sure, sometimes he has a tough time with the high pitch, but he puts up quality at-bats, which tells me maybe he can do a little something with the stick. Maybe there's something there. So I'm holding out hope that he'll start hitting and just hit a little bit. I'm not asking him to go out there and be Aaron Judge, right? But just hit a little bit, because he's doing everything else on top of that right now. Right? This is all while he continues to play really solid left field. The kid came up as a shortstop, and all of a sudden you put him shortstop, third base. Then you threw him in right field for a while. Now he's playing left field, and he's doing a pretty good job at it. He did have a little bit of a mishap tonight, playing a ball incorrectly off the wall, but, lets the single go to a triple. It never harmed them. Who cares? He's a rookie. But he's playing well. And he's got a little bit of a swagger with him, by the way. I like it. My dad hates it. He doesn't like how he pimps his hits, and I love it. I think they need that energy. It makes you wonder, though. It does. It makes you wonder a little bit what the Yankees could have been like with this kid Cabrera sooner. And we were asking for something for a while, and they didn't give it to us until last minute, literally. So it's good to have him now, and he continues to just rake now. So if he stays, if he keeps hitting, it's pretty damn cool. And I think he's a lock. I honestly think he's a lock to make the postseason roster. I don't think that's crazy to say, right? So I love what Oswaldo Cabrera has given the Yankees. And of course, Aaron Judge. How do you not talk about Aaron Judge, who is just unbelievable right now? So this series, Aaron Judge goes 3 for 8, 2 doubles, a homer, an RBI, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, 3 runs scored, 8 total bases. And on the season, Aaron Judge on the season is now .317 with the average, .421 on base percentage, a .705 slugging percentage, which is hilarious. A .705 slugging. The league average for OPS is in the 700s. OPS is on base plus slugging. Aaron Judge's slugging alone is .705. That's more than double Hicks, probably. That's just fucking ridiculous to me. That is more than double. Plenty more than double. I think Hicks is sitting in like the low 300s. And he's got a 1126 OPS. 1.126. Ridiculous. He's playing every day. 144 games played. Aaron Judge is absurd. He's the Triple Crown leader as we speak, by the way. He is the Triple Crown leader as we speak. Bogarts had 2 hits tonight, but Judge is ahead by like a decimal. He's got 60 home runs on the year, 128 RBIs. He's got the average at .317, like we said. 16 stolen bases. I mean, he is absolutely incredible. And, there's like we've said everything we've needed to say about him. And the whole MVP thing, we talked about that with Ohtani, Justin Verlander's dweeb brother. Talked about that in episode 406, last episode. So we'll leave it there. But again, I am going to the game on Friday when they play the Red Sox. That'll be the second game of the 4-game set. And it's looking more and more likely that it could be that game where he either ties it or breaks it. So I'm excited. My siblings, my cousins who I'm going with are excited. It's funny, man. We're all excited, but I'm sure the Yankees fans at home who are going to be watching on TV aren't. It's an Apple TV Plus game, so it's not going to get a ton of views, which is terrible for baseball. It's gotta hurt K. You gotta think K is just hoping he gets to be the one to call it, but I don't know, because you have the Apple TV game, you have one of those games are on, I think they said Fox, which might be tomorrow, and then there's a Sunday game that is I think it's ESPN. So I think Yes only gets one of those games, the Saturday game. So K might be in trouble. As far as calling both. But, no, he's unbelievable, man. And it just, I had to do it. Woke up this morning, went on Baseball Reference and just looked at the 60 home runs. Everything in that column or row is bold on his stat sheet. His OPS plus is absurd. It's over 200. And I think Kay mentioned this stat last night. And I fact-checked it to be sure. And I found out that when Babe Ruth hit his 60th home run, there were only 3 other big league teams that had more home runs. Teams. So when people say, when they tell you that Ruth wasn't impressive and wouldn't be impressive today, tell them that's that. He was built different. Still back then, he was exceeding the rest of the league by miles. A player outperforming teams. So he wasn't just some Joe Schmo. I hate the Ruth hate all of a sudden. But Judge is going for Maris. And he's 2 away from breaking him, 1 from tying him. And I cannot wait to go on Friday. I'm sitting in the left field bleachers, 236. That's the section we always get. And that's a perfect spot. That's a perfect spot. I hope Big Zach Hampel doesn't try and get it. He's going to have a run for his money. There's a freaking just a mosh pit of college kids just tackling each other for 60. I saw the video there. Apparently the kid got it. The kid who got it got ripped off. Only got a couple of things and nothing from it. But 62 is going to be a hot commodity. It is going to be a hot commodity, Jesus Christ. Donaldson has a hit. Bader has a hit in this game. IKF and Trevino have a hit. Bader. Let's talk about Harrison Bader, man. He is fun. Harrison Bader is becoming a fan favorite, should I say already? Talk about a good first impression at least. Excuse me. His first series as a Yankee in these 2 games, again, Pirates, whatever. He went 3 for 8, 2 singles, a double, hustle double at that, 5 RBIs and 2 runs scored. He's just this electrifying presence. Kind of has a little bit of Clinton Frazier in him, in a good way. I can't tell what it is. Maybe he kind of looks like him. The swings, I don't know. He hustles. I think it's that he hustles and he busts it every time on the bases and in the field, in center field. And it's going to be nice to have a center fielder now, like a natural center fielder who's, Judge was doing a really good job out there, but, it's good to get him less workload. Go back to his smaller right field now and keep him off his feet and, keep him healthy because Bader's not going to be afraid to dive. Bader's not 6'8", 282, right? He's going to be diving. He's going to be sprinting. He's a guy who he's going to be able to actually play like a center fielder. So I'm excited for that. So much better than Hicks. Jesus, I'm so happy that era is over. Right? Hicks was apparently sick, quote unquote, tonight. So, how convenient. Just like the Montez injury. How convenient, Cashman. It's what they do when they don't want to hurt their ego and admit they're wrong. Gleyber Torres. I want to talk about Gleyber Torres as well. Because he had himself a series. Aaron Judge was one of our featured position players of this series. Gleyber Torres is the other featured position player of this series. He went 5 for 8 this series with 3 singles, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, 2 walks, a strikeout, 5 runs scored, 11 total bases in these 2 games. On the season, Gleyber Torres, 252 with the average, a 304 on-base percentage, a 445 slugging, and an OPS at 749 across these 132 games he's played. So their numbers are slowly starting to creep back up to respectability. Right? The OPS just under 750, the average over 250 now. Closer and closer. That's been my goal for him since the start of the season. I asked that Gleyber has a 260 hitting, 800 OPS year. I don't know how realistic that is now with 14 games left, but my goal for him, from here out, is to get as close as he can to those numbers. That'd be a nice bounce back. But pretty cool stat for you here. Since Gleyber Torres, and by the way, he's got 23 home runs now, and chasing, he's close to 70 RBIs. But since his batting average dipped down to 236 on the 9th of this month, he has, in 9 games since, gone 17 for 40. That's 425, with 3 doubles, 4 home runs, 14 RBIs, 3 walks. So he's really been hitting lately. And it's coming at a perfect time. Like I said last episode, this is my X factor. Gleyber Torres is my X factor. He's a playoff hitter. He has shown the Yankees that. He has shown you all that. He can hit in the playoffs. Look up his numbers. He's 325 and his OPS is well over 900. So it would not shock me if he stayed this locked in throughout the playoffs this year again. And like we always say, it's all about the approach with Gleyber Torres. It's the mentality that he carries to the plate with him. Right? If he goes up there and he brings this, up the middle, shoot it to right center approach, and knows that he should only pull it when it comes naturally, he's going to be fine. But if he goes up there trying to hit home runs and he pulls out and he opens up and he's got all these moving parts, upper body, it's not going to be good. But right now he seems locked in. He's shooting the ball the other way. It's going up the middle and he's driving the ball to left field when it's a pitch that needs to be pulled. He looks very good. And I can only hope that he stays locked in because he's a streaky player. Hopefully this streak can last a few more weeks, let's say a month, right? A month from now is probably when the playoffs will be wrapping up. So, he's my X factor for sure, Gleyber Torres. Severino, I want to talk about Severino. He's our featured starting pitcher of the series. Went 5 innings, 1 run, 6 strikeouts, a walk, 2 hits, 2 doubles. I'm sorry, 2 singles. That should say 2 singles. 64 pitches. Yeah, man, Sevy looked very great again in his return. Fastball velocity was there. His changeup looked sharp. He had great fade to it. His slider was breaking. He was working quick, had a rhythm out there, throwing strikes, and his strike zone command was nearly flawless. I just think they don't need to milk him. They will, and I called it. But they keep saying they want to stretch him out. Well, then do it, and don't limit him to 60 pitches. Let him throw. He's only got a number of starts left. 2. Let his arm warm up. Let him throw and get ready for the postseason so we can throw you 6 innings and not be this bullshit 4-inning guy or not have to come out of the bullpen. Let him throw. He's had a good year too, man. Gleyber Torres, as you can see on the screen, overall this season, 5-3 with a 3.36 ERA, 91 innings, 101 strikeouts, 69 hits in 91 innings, 26 walks across 17 starts. 207 batting average against, a 104 whip, 14 homers allowed. He's had a good year, man. It's funny, that 3.36 ERA, the Yankee ace, right, the $300 million ace, supposedly, in Garrett Cole, has a worse ERA than Severino, Herman, and Cortez. So 3 of the 4 other starters in the rotation have a better ERA than Garrett Cole. Now, 2 of them have a smaller sample size, I get that, but even Montgomery, when he was here, and he still does have a lower ERA than Cole. Pretty bad. Pretty bad to think about that. But the pitching has struggled lately, both in the rotation and the relievers. Last couple nights, they picked it back up. As far as the playoffs go, I have faith in the starters. I do. I have faith in Cortez. I worry about Herman missing a spot and giving up a bomb, but I have faith in him, at least as far as the first round goes. The teams we play. I have faith in Severino. Again, if they don't do that bullpen garbage with him, or they don't milk him and just pull him after 4 innings or whatever, I have faith that he'll be fine. It's just Cole. It really is just Cole who I'm kind of scared of, and that shouldn't be a thing. So it's just going to come down to Garrett Cole has to man up and nut up. And if Garrett Cole goes out there and has a crazy good postseason, none of anything that we've been talking about and criticizing him for all season long in the regular season is going to matter. Nobody's going to remember it. So that's the good thing in New York. All you got to do is show up for 1 month of the season, and you're good to go, right? By the way, it's Garrett Cole bobblehead night at the end of the month. And did anybody see that promotion and see how his bobblehead looks? Holy crap. Nothing like him. But yeah, it's gonna come down to Cole. That's the X factor in the rotation. The relievers, I really don't love a ton of guys in the pen, but they get it done and they record big outs on most nights, so I guess I can't really complain too much. But they gotta figure out who's gonna be their closer. The last thing I want is again for Aroldis to regain that role. I don't want to see Clay there anymore. I wish we experimented more this month with one guy, not named Chapman or Marinaccio or Holmes. Maybe let more Marinaccio. It would have been nice to see him get some run at closer, so we'd have more of an idea. 14 games remaining. We don't even know. It's hard to find one now. We should have been doing that earlier, but I guess they're going to ride with a committee, and maybe that works. Bullpen by committee, closer by committee rather. But yeah, it's Cole in the rotation, and it's the closer role for me. The offense, last 14 games they've been scorching hot, 7 runs a night. Last 2 games this series they scored 23 runs. They went with the same exact lineup this series, so that was nice. We always ask for that. I just hope that come playoff time, the pitching gets it done. And they sustain what they've done all year. So if the lineup goes back into home run or nothing mode, like they usually do every October, it's easier to live with because the pitching is there to back them up. That's probably the best way I can put it. Because I just think the lineup, the way they're constructed, the way the Yankees, this philosophy they have of 3 true outcomes, it's never going to change. So they're going to have to get really good pitching. Because if their lineup does go through cold spells in the postseason, you can at least win a game with your staff and your relief pitching core. But yeah, the Yankees are now 11-4 in their last 15 games. 90 wins on the season. They have to go 10-4. That means to reach 100. And the magic number, I believe the magic number for the division is down to 8. So 15 walk-off wins now on the season. That's pretty cool. So if the Yankees win, let's be conservative and say if they win 95 games, that means 15 wins, walk-off, 95. That means about 1 every 6. That means they've walked it off 1 time every 6 wins. That's pretty nuts. Yeah, 1 every 6 wins if they win 95 games. And they finished with 15 walk-offs. Yeah, that's it. Weiser went back down after this game, thank God. Efros is back up, also thank God. But it's good. It's good that we're getting whole again. Bunch of guys are back now. Obviously, there are some guys, Carpenter's done. Benintendi's done. DJ LeMahieu, he could be done, but even if he comes back, I'm not really expecting much production from him because, he's still hurt, and he has the kind of injury that he's going to need surgery in the offseason. I think this guy's totally washed. I honestly do. I don't think he's going to help them be productive anywhere on his contract. I'm kind of nearing done with him. The injuries every year now, he's not nearly what he used to be. Couple points this season where he peaked out and looked like prime DJ, but something always happens. He either slumps, gets hurt, or both. He's valuable defensively. He's still a contact hitter. That's good, but something's always going on where he's just not nearly what he used to be. But on a positive manner. Again, the Yankees are looking good. Things are looking up. We're going to head to break, get back, and wrap it up with the question of the day. And then we'll do a Who Am I? Stay with us. Be right back. All right, so if you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, RJ Carbone, and I'm also on Instagram at Rob J. Carbone. That's Facebook, RJ Carbone, and on Instagram, I'm at Rob J. Carbone. So BD4 is on so many different platforms now. You can listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and plenty other listening platforms. You can also watch the podcast on YouTube and Spotify. And if you do listen to us on Apple Podcasts, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and review, as we are currently a 5-star podcast and would love to keep it that way. And if you watch the podcast on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the BD4 YouTube channel. Download, listen, watch, share it, do all of that stuff to help us grow. Welcome back to the show. I am your host, RJ Carbone. You are listening to episode 407 of BD4. Thanks for tuning into the podcast. If you're listening, thank you. If you're watching, thank you. You can go to my website, BD4blog.com. I write blogs on the Yankees and Knicks and some MMA. And you'll find the links to the many platforms to this podcast. You'll find me on social media. If you go to my blog, just go to BD4blog.com and you'll find everything you need. Let's start off with our Who Am I segment. And if you're new here, Who Am I is a segment, fairly new. We added it about halfway through. We haven't done a ton of them. But I read you a former Yankee, but I don't tell you who. I only tell you the teams he's played for in his career and when. And then I give you a hint what hand he uses to either hit or pitch. And you have to guess who. You get 1 minute to do so. So, who am I? Played for the Cincinnati Reds in 2012. The Arizona Diamondbacks from 2013 through 2014. And then the New York Yankees from 2015 through 2019. And now the Philadelphia Phillies, starting in 2020. And I'm still there now. Who am I? All right, one last time. The Reds in 2012. Diamondbacks 2013-14. Yankees from 15 to 19. And the Phillies, from 2020 to current. And I am a left-handed hitter. So you get 1 minute to guess who I just described, starting now. Who am I? All right, we are back. Welcome back. And as you can see on the screen, if you are watching the podcast, who am I? Didi Gregorius. Former Yankee, fan favorite Didi Gregorius. Played on the Reds in 2012, Diamondbacks from 13 to 14, Yankees 15 to 19, and currently, that should say 2020 to current, on the Philadelphia Phillies. Didi Gregorius. Didi Gregorius. Gregorius was fun, man. Kind of, started to, he wasn't the same in his last couple of years. Dealt with some injuries and just wasn't that good, but he was fun. Another Yankee who started slow. Fans hated him. and then kind of instilled faith as his career went on here. And then that's it. We're going to wrap it up right now with our NYY-NYK-MMA question of the day. And then that'll be it. Let's get to it. Episode 406, our question of the day. All right. So, for this episode, our NYY-NYK-MMA question of the day, 407, is, it's a true or false? True or false? A-Rod's 57-homer season came with the Yankees in 2007. Is that true or false? A-Rod's 57-homer season came with the Yankees in 2007. Let me know the answer wherever you can reach me. If you get it correct, I'll give you a shout out in the next episode. If you don't get it correct, but you at least attempt to guess the answer, then I'll let you know what the answer is in the next show. So one final time, true or false, A-Rod's 57-homer season came with the Yankees in 2007. Guys, thank you. I appreciate you stopping by. Episode 407 is in the books. The Yanks sweep the Pirates to reach 90 wins. Let's see what happens here on out. I'm so excited for the postseason, man. Listen, I don't have a lot of hope for the Yankees. If they won the World Series, obviously I'd be ecstatic. I just think they have one too many flaws. But we'll see, like we do every year. And, we go into it with this optimism and we hope for the best. But there are 14 games remaining. We still have business to take care of before the postseason. We got to win the division, and I would like to get 100 wins. I always look at that mark after the division is wrapped up. I always try to get to 100 wins. I always look at that, but it's gonna be tough. That's it, guys. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, ciao. This episode was brought to you by Anchor.